Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are healthy and safe and well. We are back here with another video. I have my lovely mother and Matu here for a question and answer, a Q&A. We posted the box. It's Vlogmas. We doing a bunch of stuff. So I wanted to do a Q&A to kind of help you guys get to know us a little bit more. Maybe things that I haven't shared with you guys that she can share with you guys. So we'll just make it super conversational. Shay's behind the camera. She's going to ask the questions that you guys have put in the question box, and we're just going to kick it off. Oh, you guys know what I'm going to say. If you're not subscribed, pause the video and press subscribe down below. Along with that, hit the bell notifications link so you know when a new video is going live. We're going every day this month, so just so you know what time stuff is going live. But make sure you guys do that too. So Faye, you can go ahead and just kick it off.
Okay, first question's for you, Mom. Ready?
Yes.
How was JaLisa as a child growing up?
Wow, she was JaLisa was a sweetheart. Always has been a sweetheart, but she was very quiet. She had very, very low energy, which sometimes made me think as a mom that possibly she was depressed or sad about something until I had her tested. She had a temperament test and they told me she was just low energy. Just let her do the things she enjoys doing and then give her some extra things on the side that keep her energy maintained and stable. But she was a great child.
And by a temperament test, she basically took me to a therapist. She had me and my brother, took us to a therapist.
At age 13.
Yeah. And they just asked us a bunch of like random questions like, when in a group of friends, do you prefer to do XYZ or do XYZ? And it was like a load of those type of questions, which and then helped them figure out like what type of temperament as a human you are. So like what's normal or like whatever. And my mom actually didn't even let me read it until I was 16. And when she let me read it on my 16th birthday, it was like a paper, like I still have it to this day. Yes. It was a stacked paper of like, this child is low energy and she often will reject herself before being rejected, and like she'll do different things. So like it was almost like I was reading, so I was like, they get me, like something finally gets me.
It was good.
But it was just like who I am, and like don't confuse her low energy with not being interested. That's just how she is. Like she is a monotone, blah blah blah. She only cares about what she cares about. Like it was like those type of things, and I'm like, finally, it's like I don't feel misunderstood. So that was probably the best thing, and I'm for sure gonna do that with the girls because it was a way for me to understand. And with me and my brother being so different, it helped her learn how to parent us differently.
Absolutely. Because
everybody is different.
And 13 was too soon to give it to them, so I waited until they were older. And actually, the morning I gave JaLisa hers, it was after Friday night, where she wanted to go out and had no friends to go out with, and
I like had a moment. I was like, why does everyone hate me?
Yes.
And I was like, and everyone's dating, and I don't have anyone to date, and I'm the only black girl in my school.
Why'd you put me in this all-white school?
They only hang out with me to tolerate me, and like I feel like like a reject and blah blah. Like I had a whole episode, and that's when she let me read that, and it was just like, okay,
it was
so I'm not completely misunderstood.
Totally, yeah, she was very different after.
Because you start to feel crazy a little bit. You start to feel crazy a little bit, like, why am I this way? Like, is there something about me that is unappealing, or like personality wise and character wise and stuff like that. But I also just think now being a parent, like that was probably the best thing to do because my brother and I are not the same kid. We were like almost polar opposites.
Yes.
So it helped her parent us differently and know how to respond to us differently with different things.
Not just gender wise.
Not just gender wise.
Person wise.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Yeah.
But I do think it's important, like as her followers who are watching this, to know like she is the most introverted human you will meet. And I think because people don't necessarily know that. Yeah, I think because you guys don't know that about her, you have like expectations that are unrealistic when you potentially meet her or when you chat with her. So like I hope that gives you insight, because I think people are expecting like a production, but it's like I'm an introvert, and she is an extrovert with her people, but she's an introvert in real life. And so like when you put that together.
When I was doing my massage yesterday, I don't know what we got on the topic, and she was like, because the first time we ever went to the spa, it was me and Corey for a couples massage. And she was like, they are the meanest couple. Because we didn't talk. We didn't.
Not happy.
It was just like, we're checking in, we're getting a massage. There's nothing to say.
Right.
But she was just like, at first I was like, she is not nice. Like, she is not kind. But it was because I wasn't like, you know, and obviously Corey isn't. And if anything, I overcompensate when it's the both of us because I have to.
Like, you're aware.
I have to be for the both of us.
Right.
But she was saying yesterday, she was like, but after I talked to you, it was like, oh, okay.
There she is.
That's what she said. Like, that was her exact reaction. She was like, oh,
That
I was
one-on-one
totally
thing.
wrong.
Yeah, and
She said,
you weren't bad. Like, you were always respectful
shy
to
and quiet.
to adults. But I found out that because I was so exposed, my parents were pastors, and that everyone thought I was an extrovert, and I had the test done first, and found out that I was compulsively melancholy. So,
but I think
really
because you
helped
had
me.
to be,
I was forced. Yes.
yeah, I feel like a lot of people, you know, perform for the role, and that's not really who they are. So even like,
But we expected that from our kids because
Right.
both your dad and I are both
yeah,
out there people. But
Mhm.
I was out there because I had to be out there.
yeah. And when she says, so like, my grandfather was like,
Oh my gosh.
so y'all like see how Michael Todd and like those type of pastors
Yeah.
be like
Extroverted
like
and
jumping
hype.
over the pews
Yeah, that was
and
him.
preaching and doing all this stuff. Like, he was one of those type of preachers, like with celebrity preachers coming in town
Yeah.
and hanging out with the family and all that kind of stuff. Little Richard, like
Jake's all the way when he was a kid.
so he was like one of those type of preachers. So, and my mom was over the music department, so she always had to overextend and be like the face of the church, pretty much, other than my grandfather.
Regardless, you guys know how to show up when to show up.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I think for
And
me,
so-
it wasn't until I got older and really moved away from home that I like learned who I truly was. Because being a preacher's kid and a preacher's grandkid, I always felt like I had to perform too, like, or completely remove myself. It was one or the other. There was no in between. And I had to be, you know, you're Bishop Thorpe's granddaughter. You need to be prim and proper and abide by all the rules and follow what everybody else thinks you should do and all that kind of stuff, until I went away and I was like, I don't like none of that. I don't like none of it or them. You know, I love God and I love my family. Everything else can go
It's optional.
to wherever it needs to go. So I really learned who I was removed from that, because even just in the city, everybody knew me as Bishop Thorpe's granddaughter, or Lisa Thorpe's daughter. Like, that's just who I was, which is another reason why I wanted to get away.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, I want to be more than just that. Like, I want to know who I am apart from all of this, and with the entire city knowing my family and who they are. I want to make a name for my own self.
And I told my kids, especially JaLisa, when you go away to school, you can make up a nickname like that no one has ever heard
You
of.
told Kristen that, and she actually did it.
Yeah, like you could be whoever you want to be. These people don't know you from a can of paint.
But it should be who you actually are.
Yes,
don't
like
make up a
that
person.
thing you've been dreaming about being. And I say that to say, parents, take the brakes off your kids in being themselves. Get therapy for yourself and for them. Have them tested on everything that you think is a possibility.
Or just take the time to get to know them.
Yeah.
Like, you could take them to therapists and all that kind of stuff, but if you
And
don't
still
take
spend
the time to get
That's
to
true.
know them
Very true.
and who they are at their core, without what your expectations are, what you think who they should be, or who you think they should be, like,
Based on your experiences.
exactly. And there were a lot of reasons. This is going to end up being a long video.
Okay, we're done.
There were a lot of things that my mom wrote a book on our relationship, and it basically talked about how we had a black room. It was called the Black Room, and it happened just by default, because there was a time where the lights had gone out in the house, and I was like, Mom, can I ask you a question? You have to promise not to reprimand me, not to discipline me. Like, I just want to just have this moment free of anything to just ask you questions. And I was able to say stuff, and I couldn't see her reaction. I was able to just talk and be like, so what about this? And like, you know, what if I did this? Would you still love me? And like, you know, what if I turned out to be this kind of person? What would you feel?
Don't make me cry.
And she was like sobbing, but it was a way for me to like freely ask her questions. So then we made it a thing. And anytime I was like going through something, or I learned something new that, you know, I was like, I don't know what this is. I would say, can we have a Black Room experience? Like, can we go in the room? And we would turn all the lights off and we would talk. And I was able to like do and say, and I was like, and I think you're judgmental, and I think you treat my friends like this, and you know, you do this, this, and this, but I think this is hypocritical. And like I was able to talk without any consequences, and nothing that I said in that room was able to be taken out. She couldn't bring it up later. She couldn't remind me of it. She couldn't reference it when I did something else and she was like reprimanding me. Like everything in that
was
room,
hard.
I'm sure it was very hard. And even now being a mom, I know that was probably
very hard. And not to share it with your dad.
She couldn't share it with anybody, not even my dad. So my dad started getting upset because it was like, you know her in a way that I don't know. You know what I mean? But it was like that time was off limits to everything and everybody, even God. Like,
yeah, no, really.
You literally, like, I was able to just dump and
never hear it again.
Never hear of it again.
Even when she got grown, I would be working out of town and I would be in a hotel room. And if
when I was pregnant with Harper.
Yes, I needed a black room.
When I was pregnant with Harper, I said, I need a black room experience. She said, I already know what you're going to tell me.
So I was in a hotel room.
I was like, can you sit down?
I closed the blinds, by the way.
When you announced to her?
No, when I told her.
I closed the blinds because I never knew
I
what
said, can you sit down?
Say.
I said, can we have a black room experience? She was like,
I was in the hotel room by myself. I closed the blinds, turned off the television. I laid and got in my very same position
from when we were kids.
From the very first time when she was a child. And I'm thinking, well, okay, so I'm not responsible.
I know she already knew what it was.
But I was like, okay, this world is crazy, so it could be a multiplicity of things.
That's true.
And then I was like, all right,
I feel like at that point
ready.
You knew.
Yeah, I was kind of ready for that one.
But yeah, so long story short, I don't remember what the question was, but yeah.
How you were as a child.
Yes.
You can elaborate on this one then. Have you always had a great relationship with each other? And if not, what happened? But you explain that.
So I think we've had phases. I think when I was a kid, so my mom was working and she had to go away for work. She was doing work for the White House. And she would have to go away for work. And I stayed with my grandmother. I got close with my grandmother. She felt the way about it. Which is when we started the black room, because she was like, why is she laughing? It's like, she's so introverted, she's shy, she doesn't talk to anybody. Why, when I come in, is she laughing and giggling with you and my grandfather?
Oh, then she stops. She would be laughing and having a great time. And then she would come
and I would like shut down.
And she would just shut down, and I'm thinking, oh my God,
but
it's me.
Yeah,
it's me.
Right, right. So she felt that way, which is how we started the whole situation of the black room and really getting to know each other. And we had intentionally getting to know each other and like having a relationship. And then I went away to college, and this was the first time that I ever confided in other people other than just her, because I didn't have close friends in high school and
this is
younger.
Painful.
No, this is great.
Go ahead. No, I'm just saying this part. I forgot about this part. I did feel that way, like about it was actually. I never put it in words, so I must say
I think because I talk about my experience so much,
this
it feels normal to me.
This specific part, but this is great. I mean,
I have therapy every week. So this is normal.
I've had a whole bunch.
So she was feeling away because it was the first time that I actually had real friends that I was like, these are my friends. I love them. I confide in them.
Yes.
So in college, that was the first time. So she kind of felt away, and she was like, basically like, you never put nobody before me. You know what I mean? But it was my first time having friends. And we had to readdress our relationship then. So it was like, I never felt this way when, you know, you had other friends, and this makes me feel this way, and blah, blah, blah. So that happened, and that was another way that we basically rebonded and really realized, like, my mom was hurt because I never had anybody other than just her. And to me, it was like, I finally have somebody other than just my mom.
I should have been happy.
Right, but I get it. So that happened. And then, of course, when I moved to Dallas and I got this whole new life, and it was almost like, for me, it was let me detach myself from everybody and figure myself out. To my family, it was she separating herself from us. Mm-hmm. So you can understand how either way, the other side can feel away. Mm-hmm. But to me, it was like, I want to know who I am outside of these people. Like, I want to not have everyone else's thoughts and opinions on me. I want to make a mind for my own. So throughout this period, I was pretty stubborn. I was like, no, I'm going to do this. I don't care what you say. And you know how when you finally put your foot down, you're a little forceful because it's so hard.
And you had to set boundaries.
You have to set boundaries, but this is your first time in your life ever setting boundaries. So you feel like you're being harsh, but you know I have to put my foot down, so I'm just going to say it and hang up. And then to everybody else, it's like she's cutting us off.
Well, because I'm already questioning myself, so I don't need you questioning me. So I have to be like,
but if people aren't used to you, you know, whatever, but you feel like, you know, when you first start setting boundaries, you feel like you have to be extra and forceful. When it really is just, I don't want to do that. But because you're already insecure about the boundary you're setting, it's like you feel like you have to do all this extra stuff. So I know that I was kind of a douchebag. I know that I was kind of that period of me. It was just like, I was just like, no, this is mine. This is mine. Don't touch it. I don't care. This is how I feel. I don't care about anybody's opinions. Like, and that's how I was for a period of time.
And I think parents,
of course, life happens.
And parents, be comfortable with that, because your children, you will have to intentionally reattach, because once that umbilical cord is cut, it really is gone forever, and you have to be intentional about reconnecting yourself
in different ways, because we are different people in different
stages.
seasons. And the reality is that everyone changes in different seasons. So I think for us, it was like we were used to things being the same, but as they shifted and changed, people, you know, we all get in our feelings.
Exactly.
So I think we've always been close, but to different degrees and in different ways in different seasons. So even like now, I think me and my mom are extremely close, but I also think that this is her time to intentionally build relationships with Harper and Zuri. So I try not to be like,
and to watch your boundaries.
That's my mom. Like, hello. Like, it's like, Harper, Zuri. And I'll be like catching myself getting my feelings. But it's like, you've had your time with her. She hasn't had her time with them. So, like, they have to build their own situation. So I just think it's like a period of like readjusting. But we for sure have always been close in some type of capacity. And even when we don't, we find a way to say, like, this is how I'm feeling.
Yeah, we voice it. We were pretty outspoken.
Yeah, even if it's like a long message of like, this made me feel this way.
Right.
And then you give the other person to say, well, that's not how I meant it. You know, this is whatever. But we try to voice it. And I'm like that with all of my friends. So that, and all of my people in my life. So that things don't grow and fester and turn into something else.
What is something one of you loves that the other dislikes? Food, scents, anything.
The one loves and the other.
I only know one that.
There's only one.
I think it's probably just one. We're probably thinking the same.
I think that the way.
Oh, I know another.
This is probably getting deeper than the question actually asked. Well, my mom likes a lot of foods and stuff that I don't like, but I think the thing that I don't like is the way that my mom overextends to certain people and certain things. I feel like she overgives in areas that I would never give. And I think that sometimes I get in my feelings because I'm like, they treated you this way and blah blah blah, and she's like,
"It's not let it go."
And I don't let stuff go. I don't. So I'm the friend that, like, if you're ever with somebody or in a fight or something, you don't tell me what's wrong. You don't tell me what they did to you. You don't tell me. Don't tell me, because y'all will be best friends, and I will be. They can't step foot in my house
forever.
No, forever.
Let's just say that. And the one thing I can think of is I've always been body conscious, and I kind of always put that on her. And there are certain times that I would say things that I have to catch myself with, whether it's with her, concerning her body and how she's eating, or if it's with Harper, even little things that bring triggers to her from her past. I'm conscious not to, and I really intentionally make myself conscious not to be the mother that I was to her on negative things like that concerning image and body. And I think that that's something I work a lot on, even with Harper, to constantly be positive about things that concern how she looks, how she feels about herself.
And to add a little bit of context, basically, we've all been different weights and, you know, looked different ways growing up. But that was something that my mom, she didn't like when people, like, said funny things, or, like, not funny. They were never funny. But she didn't like when people made fun of her. So she always would make sure, like, you know.
I was overweight all of my life growing up.
I was trying to say that without saying it.
I know. Go ahead. You can say it.
But then when she wasn't, it was like, I don't want my daughter to ever get to that. So I'm going to make sure that people are mean, and I don't want them to treat her how they treated me when I was overweight. So it was like, you can't have seconds, and you don't need to eat that, and you don't need to do that, and you don't need to eat this, and you don't need to do that, and why are you eating that? And then there was a time we were in the car, and it was dark outside, and I said, Mom, if I was fat, would you still love me? And she lost it. I never heard anything
ever
a day after that. I never heard a day. But it was like she didn't know that, like, to her, she was protecting me from mean people. But to me, it was like my mom only loves me if I look like this and if I, look like this to the world.
Right.
So ever since I brought that up and said that, I think how old was I?
10 maybe.
Yeah, I was maybe 10 years old, and she never brought it up again. But even just in terms of like how we're raising the girls now, like, because I was also body self-conscious, you know what I mean? Or body conscious or whatever.
It bled.
Yeah. And I try to make sure that I don't do that to the girls as well now. But it's all just a learning experience. And you catch yourself and you say, actually, no, just kidding. Never mind.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Eat the whole cookie jar. I don't care.
You can have all the chips
I don't
you want.
care.
And a sucker afterwards.
Literally. But it's just a learning thing. And it's like, I think just now also being a mom, you learn, and even just me being in therapy, you learn different things that like triggered you in different ways.
Yes.
And you try to make sure that it's not like, you don't, like, that's not her issue. That was my issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I don't want to make her feel a way because of something that I experienced in life.
Exactly.
And where I am now, kids remember stuff, and you think that they're just little girls and they just, they're young, they'll never, like, they remember, and that stuff is embedded, like the jokes. Forever. And that's why a lot of people are like, oh, we can't joke with JaLisa, or like, it's not that serious. And it's like, actually, yes, because there are a lot of jokes that people joked with me, and I still think about them night and day. And I was 10 and 9 and 8 years old, and it was just a joke to you, but now that's something that I'm living with. So I am very overprotective about what they're exposed to, and the jokes and the things and all of that.
Everything, not just body image.
Not just body image, but every
competencies and
yes, make sure you compliment more than just their appearance, and don't just tell them they're pretty when their hair is done, and don't just like things like that, because
it matters.
It matters. And then they'll grow up thinking, I have to be this and fit this mold in order for these compliments to flow in, or for people to think this about me. And no, you don't.
So true.
Something Harp or Zoo does that reminds your mom of you growing up. So I guess, Mom, this is a question.
Yeah.
What are the things that the girls do that remind you of JaLisa?
Wow. There's one serious thing that Harper does that really reminds me of JaLisa, and it changes who I am as a grandmother automatically. But if she hurts you, recently she says, I'm sorry a whole lot, and over again, because she wants you to be okay, but she also wants you to be okay with her. And I'm very careful once I say ouch, or don't do that, Harper, if she bites me or something, and she'll stop, but she'll just keep rubbing it.
She feels bad.
And she feels really bad. And I'll have to stop her and say, Harper,
it's okay.
It's okay. Because I remember JaLisa being the type of child that just wanted everybody to be okay. She's that type of adult. And I
would take the L for everybody. Like, I would literally nail myself
to the cross
for the sake of everybody else being okay.
Exactly. And I don't want, that's something that I see already in Harper.
For me to be selfish.
That I don't want her to be. You don't have to be that sorry. You can, it's okay. We're fine. People will go on. Mm-hmm. Okay, you made a mistake. Yeah. Like, live on. Let's just go play some more. But I'm really, really intentional about that lately.
Yeah.
Mom, what has surprised you most about JaLisa's adult life?
That's a good one.
The field that she's in, her career field, because I know internally, without the grace of God and like divine intervention, she would not. Yeah,
I know how people say like that's cringe. I'm literally cringing at myself every time I do anything, but I know that this is what God's called me to do. But it's like, if it were without him, I literally would be like, I can't believe she posted that.
Absolutely.
I can't believe she did that.
The words that she uses, using words without an action or no action whatsoever. I'm shocked, and I know that she's where God wants her to be, because it's not her typical. And it wasn't even a part of her temperament test. So I knew who she really was and who she would be till death do us part. But the divine intervention of God, allowed her to become this influencer, and being there for people like that, and being okay with it without feeling forced to talk or communicate. I mean, she's not going to talk to you on the phone. It's not going to happen. But, she will text you and she will respond. But just the public communication was something she never did. So I am totally shocked at that. And proud of her, might I add.
Oh, thanks, Mom.
What are your favorite holiday recipes? Or like family recipes that you guys have on gatherings?
Ooh,
soul food, period.
Yeah, we like all the things.
Yams, greens, potato salad, fried chicken. Those are the main ones.
Yeah, we don't have anything that's like different. So not everybody makes corn pudding.
So yeah,
our family does corn pudding, which is the corn and the sour cream and all that within the cornbread.
Actual corn in there.
A lot of people don't do that.
Right.
We do that.
Anything off limits is there anything off limits talking to each other about?
No, she honestly, I be feeling bad sometimes because I'm like, I probably share
TMI most often.
But me and Corey, we both share.
Yeah, she's
far too much probably, but I mean,
little openness going on over here.
We're all very open around here, and honestly, we're one of those like inappropriate, vulgar families.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, so like we're not one of those like friends around or like, ooh, why'd she say that? Like we're not that kind of family. We say it like it is. We say it how we feel it, and that's just that. And we say like what it is. So even like with Harper and Zuri, like we don't do the whole your kitty cat, like whatever. Like that's your vagina, and this is a
get off my boobs.
This boob, like we say words because the reality is the world is only gonna say words. So we not putting nicknames on nothing.
It is,
and we talk how we talk. Even with me and Corey around Harper, it's like we're married,
right?
And this is how you got here. So we're not about to act like whatever.
This is not how you got here.
Yeah, like what? This is our life.
Can't fake this thing called life.
Let me look at that. I love both of your hair. Who did it?
Thanks.
Today, Rose Style Studio did it.
Yes.
Mom's hair is all natural, long and and I have a sew in it. Because I'm giving my natural hair.
They both have the thickest hair in the world.
Known to man. We do.
They pretty much
and both crazy too.
Yeah. Little Congo going on over here.
What is something y'all enjoy doing together?
I think now we've kind of morphed because we used to go shopping together growing up, but now with the girls, it's like anything that involves them.
Right.
When I lived back at home, going shopping was like our thing. Me, my mom, and my grandma, we would go to a store called Gabriel Brothers every single weekend, and we would drive like 45 to an hour out the city
to hit all three of them coming back.
All three of them, and go to the outlets and do this whole like loop, go out to eat, and that was like the highlight of my life, like going with my grandma and my mom out. Since being older, I lived across the country. Oh yeah, she always like my grandma. You think like when we go on vacations, Faye, like you think I ball out? She's like, order everything on the room service.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to take a bath, butt naked, and eat my food.
And walk around the room.
And she's like that to this day. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm on vacation.
And I'm going to live.
So if you don't want to see it, get out. I don't money. And she will literally ball out. Like, I am like that on vacation, but I feel like I got that from her. Because she's like, what's the price? Don't care. Like we already
get some ice cream. We'll
life
just
is too short.
A lecithin.
Literally,
take a garlic.
That's how they say my grandma was.
In the tub is my grandma. Like with the Bible open next to her, eating ice cream butt naked in the tub for 7 hours.
In what ways were y'all most alike?
I feel like there are a lot of things I do now as an adult that I'm like, ooh. I said that just like she was saying.
I want to say, I think caring for people. I think we both, like she said, I overextend myself to people. a lot.
As much as I don't want to believe that I do that, I do.
And she does it. She wants everybody to be okay. She doesn't want people to suffer. She's by all means that with more zeros to do it.
I think I am. I just think I have a select group of people that I do that for. My mom is like, I want to help the world. Like, I want to help this whole entire neighborhood. How can I help this whole city to do better? And I'm just like,
I don't want anyone, no poverty.
I just want my 20 close people to live a luxurious life. And everybody outside, I don't know. It's weird. But I can't think of like specific ways that I'm like her, but I do also feel like in a way, like, I don't know how to say it, but like, say something is going on and you need someone to step up and take control. I feel like I do it a lot like she does.
Okay.
They're both
like
really good shower-uppers.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Perfect.
We're very good shower-uppers. So like, for me, like, don't call me and like bog me down with like
The
your
process,
everyday mundane. Don't complain to me, because my mind goes to how can I fix this. So if you tell me, yeah, my paycheck was late and I don't know how I'm gonna be like, I wired this to your account, let's pay the bill, because I don't want to hear this complaining. Let's just fix it, because I can't. I'm one of those friends. So I'm not the friend that you call to vent to. I'm the friend that you call when you need somebody to show up, and show up now.
Right. Yeah, like it has to be life or death,
like,
for me.
Well,
like,
you are the vent to. You're not the.
I still be like, well, what can we do about this?
Yeah. But I mean,
take a point.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so
Jalisa's not. If you need to build a bunch of furniture, Jalisa's not the friend you call.
Nope,
She'll
that's
say,
process.
"Great, I'll hire somebody to help you build that," because I'm not doing that. But like,
Birthday
vent to with a
parties.
solved problem. Like, yeah,
there has
it's
to
with
be
a problem solution. Yeah, you're a problem solution.
Like, I can't just like be like,
It has to be
where
that-
I just want to get this off my chest.
No.
Because I'm gonna be like, well, we need to cut this person off. We
Yep.
can pay this bill. We can do this, and then will everything be fine? And then
how
will
you
be
feel
okay?
after that?
Yeah.
Will you be all right after
That's
that?
how I
Because
am.
that's what I need to happen. I need you to be okay.
I need you to be okay.
What is the best advice your mom has given you?
I think the
Or
best
some.
advice, there's a lot of it, but I think the one that resonates with me right now, where I am in life, being who I am and the giver that I am, the one that I have been repeating to myself every day and night is that everybody will be okay. And if you don't show up, they will find a way to be okay. You don't have to kill yourself for the sake of other people. And I think that that's something that my grandma told her that she told me. And it was like, just, you don't have to be everything to everybody. And you don't have to feel bad about it. Everybody will be okay and find another way if you say no.
How do you set boundaries? This one says with your mom, but I'm gonna say with each other because y'all probably both have different.
I feel like because
answers.
we communicate so much, and because I went through that stage of like figuring out how to set boundaries, it's not really a boundary. It's like, Mom, you know, I need you to take the girls because I just wanted to be me and Corey to do this. Or like, you know, we'll do this and then we'll come to you after. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like everything is like a mutual understanding now.
Yeah.
And because I also feel like my mom had a stage of, and this is me speaking for you, had a stage of recently of like setting new boundaries, like when you moved out of Pittsburgh. So I feel like we kind of learned those like put your foot down type situations. So oftentimes I try not to be the one that she has to like be forceful with. So it's like if I hear her mention like I just want to do this and I just want like this is about me, I try to abide by it without having her reiterate it, because it's like I know how hard that is to have to tell people that you love to like back off and like I want to do this for me. So I try to not have to make her say that to me because I know that that's already hard.
And actually, I kind of learned, I would say, I learned a lot of the boundary things from you. Because I was in Pittsburgh so long with my family and there for everybody 24/7.
And I used to be like, Mom,
forever.
How could you?
Yeah.
They used to talk about you. Why are you showing up for their son's funeral?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and they want you to
be that serious.
They want you to preach at their funeral, and they was just talking about you to so-and-so. Like, and that was in my, like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't like people taking advantage of my mom. So it's like.
But when you set boundaries with me, I feel like it helps me, because you were talking about how being here so long by yourself and how you had to create a world and create a family.
And I had to be okay with just me, yeah.
And create this thing all around yourself. I experienced it later in life. But I did have to do the same things because it was COVID. People were dying. People were sick. And I just couldn't do it. And I probably would have said yes. But a lot of times I thought about the fact that I need to set some boundaries maybe. And that's not a word I used a lot in my vocabulary. Yeah, it just kind of like took me down to people are going to live. Like you move out of a city and watch the world go on.
It will still go on, and you think that you're like the missing piece to XYZ, and it's like, no, everyone's okay and they'll figure it out. Yeah. And I think for me, it was just like, I want to, and I think, I don't know who demonstrated this to me in life or like showed me this, what I was like, I want to be able to create the environment that I want to be in. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to pick, like, I don't want to have to be forced to tolerate certain things. And like, obviously, everyone in your life is not perfect.
Right.
Like, I don't expect anyone in my life to be perfect. But it was like, I want to be able to pick and choose what I want to be around and what I want to involve myself around. And my family is amazing and would die for all of them. But I feel like a lot of my family, we just deal with our, like, we're our own little situation. And I was like, I know there are other people in this world that are great humans.
Besides just us.
Besides just us, because we are very close, and like my family will pull up for whatever. But I was like, I want to have a group of close-knit friends, and I want to be able to build and cultivate a family that doesn't involve me just staying in Pittsburgh. And I was like, I know that that's possible. And obviously I was like, you have to be a friend to, you know, get friends.
And you did it.
I did. But it was hard because my family is like this. And everyone is like, we literally all lived within 2 miles from each other, like walking distance to each other's house my entire life growing up. So it was scary AF when I moved to Dallas. But
yeah, I was scared.
It worked out. She was scared too, yeah. She would call like, are you okay? And who are these people?
Right.
You just, you know, but it worked out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more like this, drop them down in the comments below. We'll also put another question box for a part 2, but if you guys have immediate questions, drop them down below. Or if you want us to just get up here and do a chit chat or a story time, let us know. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys are following on Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that good stuff. Follow Mom, LT Vaughn, on Instagram. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Good